I always do that, like right before I started recording. Like this is gonna like change my dynamic at all. Like just yes, I have flexed the creative muscles. Hello everybody, my name is Alex Schiller and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be doing another PC part build. And a lot of you are saying, I thought you were doing one for your brother, da 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 da, you just posted that video. Correct. That is a series that we are going to be ongoing. It is in development. I have to get paid a couple more times before I can actually put that PC together and then surprise him with it. So yeah, so this is more of an informational tutorial for you guys to see kind of what your best price to performance is going to be on a certain criteria of like budgets. So we have a 500 video coming out, we have a $750 video coming out, 1,000 and 1,500. If you need to go further than that, go watch Linus Tech Tips. That being said, this video is going to be the $500 build. For those of you on a really tight budget, I'm going to be giving my recommendations for the best price to performance build that you can get for $500. Now, if you want to see what this build is eventually going to look like as we update it over the years, because we will be doing continual updates to this, so I don't have to make 1,000 of these videos, I can just make one, go join our Discord community down below. Link is there, and we will post this as well as the link to the updates in our PC building chat room, and you guys can check it out, give recommendations, and talk about your favorite parts with your favorite people down in our community down below. Now with that being said, let's get started with the build. I'm in a bigger box this time. So for the beginning of this video, we're obviously going to be talking about CPUs, and at the bare minimum price to performance range, we have i3 and the Ryzen 3 processors, both 4 cores, both 8 threads, very good CPUs for their price range. However, the Intel i3 has a slight performance edge over the Ryzen 3, which makes my Team Red heart burn a little bit, but we are going to be choosing the Team Red for this build because we can save $20, and so that is key for a $500 build. If we can beat them on a price to performance range, we are going to be able to choose the Ryzen 3 3300X for our PC. Now we have to go down there. It's gonna beg you not to choose Ryzen 3. There's so many better options for price to performance. It looks like they're scalping prices again. So we're going to manually enter this price. Obviously, there's a lot of scalping going on right now. Please bear in mind that these builds are based on MSRP prices, and you should most certainly wait for any GPUs, CPUs, or any other components to come down in price to maintain your budget rather than try and just get the price performance right now when you're really not getting the price or the performance in which you paid for. So in this particular scenario, we're just going to add $120 there, which is what it is marked as MSRP through user benchmark, which we'll be referencing the rest of this video. And let's continue on to hopefully build out a good kit for the Ryzen 3 3300X. So the next thing we want to choose is a motherboard. Obviously, if you're running a $500 build, you don't have the safeties around it with power supply and power delivery through a motherboard to be overclocking. So we are going to be going for the lower end 520. I almost want to go 450 because it wouldn't be that hard to do. But I think I'm going to go like probably a 520 to get kind of the best price to performance that we can get. As we did in the last video, I'm going to choose Asus, ASRock, Gigabyte, and MSI to kind of narrow our options down to reputable sources. And in this case, I think we're probably going to go ASRock again. A lot of good reviews here. Pretty basic motherboard, will fit our GPU just fine. 2 DIMM slots, which isn't great for upgradability. Honestly, if we can find something with a couple more DIMM slots, that would be ideal, but it doesn't look like we're going to find something with a relatively decent price range. So I think we are going to go this ASRock 520M AC board. We're going to click that there. No compatibility issues thus far. Obviously has that AM4 socket. And we are going to see that it's also even got Wi-Fi. I didn't even see that. I don't think it has Wi-Fi 5. Does it? Oh, it does have Wi-Fi 5, so that's pretty neat, and it will support all the memory speeds in which we are trying to get. Now, this being said, what speeds we're going to be trying to obtain through memory and how much memory we're going to be able to do, I think not running dual channel memory this day and age is detrimental to a lot of people. And so we're going to try and get a 3000 kit of 16 gigabyte. Probably either a 2.4 stick or a 2.8 stick, 8 gig stick, to get us where we need to go. This will allow us to run dual channel memory while also having 8 gigabytes of RAM, which is again a very price to performance based thing. We are trying to spend $500, not something super crazy. But I'm also going to look at some cheaper 2x8 sticks, which the Ripjaw is actually not looking too bad. You can get 16 gigs of RAM right off the bat. We're not looking for a pretty build. We're looking for a build that's going to meet our price or performance needs. We're already at $250 and we haven't even got to the GPU yet, or our storage, or our case. So we need to be a little bit safer around here. I have to check what the price to performance on the 1660 series of GPUs is, and their MSRPs, just to make sure that we actually have room to get 16 gigs of RAM. So for any GPU worth its salt nowadays, it looks to be that the 580 is going to be the better price or performance by $10, because it's only beaten by 9%. Now, if it's beating it by double digits percentages, I would probably choose that $10 raise for that 10% over the $10 savings for less than 9%. So this is kind of a crapshoot on whether you want to be able to spend the $10 or not. In this particular case, I think you should go with the 580. It works a little bit better. All your drivers will work a little bit better if you are using a 580. I don't feel too bad about recommending a 580 and still going a little bit over budget, solely because you're going to be able to find a 580 for like $180, $150 on Amazon Marketplace or something like that used. We'll see though. Obviously all of these are going to be very disgusting. They're just going to be disgustingly overpriced right now. $360 for an RX 580. It's disgusting. Is this the 4 gigabyte model or is this the 8 gig? I think this is the 8 gig model. Yes, it's the 8 gig model. So we will choose an 8 gig model and justify our purchase. We're going to go with the XFX GTR, which looks a little fast and furious. I have used XFX for a majority of my cards, although they have a bunch of 3 stars. I am worried about that. What is that? What is your problem? So it seems like that one comes with a bunch of fan issues, so we're not gonna do that. We're going to do a 5-star MSI. Here we go. Its normal base MSRP is $250, so we're gonna have to do that, which is really sad and depressing. It's really honestly hard to shop for a build like this. I am going to part out a 580 like I purchased it, just because I know after price scalping is over. And again, I highly recommend that if you are buying a PC now or preparing to build a PC for $500, you need to wait for scalpers to die. Because if the scalpers are going to sit there and charge you $250 to $300 for an RX 580, which is 2 generations behind, you are going to get scalped super hard. So I'm going to price out this RX 580 exactly how I paid for it about a year ago and not feel bad about it. So you can find one for like $150 easy on Facebook Marketplace or any of those places. That gives us a little bit more room. I think about $50 or $91 for storage and a case and a power supply, which I don't think is going to be terribly hard to find. So we're going to obviously choose just a hard drive. I'm going to give you a decent hard drive because not giving you a decent hard drive would be stupid. Seagate Barracuda for $40. We'll take that. And it's a terabyte, 7200 RPM, pretty fast. It's not going to be great. It's still going to be a hard drive, and I highly recommend getting an SSD in the future, but a terabyte hard drive will get you through exactly what you need for now. $450. We have to get a good, decent power supply within that money. You just have to. don't skimp on your power supply. It looks like right now we're going to be drawing 344 watts-ish, so I'm going to recommend a 400 watt probably. Where's the wattage there? 450 watt power supply to get you off the ground. Ketchup and mustard cables are going to be a have to at this point, I have a feeling. Not modular, doesn't have an efficiency rating. I don't like that. We're going to get you the bronze, 4217. Now we have $8 for a case, which isn't going to happen, so we are going to go over a little bit. But this is kind of a bare minimum. Obviously, all of these parts are a little bit lower end. You're going to be able to find them for a little bit cheaper in all sorts of different places once scalpers stop destroying you. I would even venture to say you can find an RX 580 for even cheaper than $150. But we're going to be going with kind of the general rules. I know I paid $150 for my RX 580 about a year ago. The MSRP for the Ryzen 3 3300X is $120, and then everything else is kind of set to where it's at. So we are going to buy a case. It is going to be a little bit over, but it's not going to be a fun case. It is not going to be a fun case. I can tell you that right now. It is going to be Micro ATX Mini Tower. Mini Tower. But it's not going to be fun. Ooh. Fractal Design Core 1000. I had this case, except it had a mesh front instead of this front. I hate that this one doesn't have a mesh front. Where else? Fractal Design, where are you? Where's the other one? Where's the other Core 1000? There it is. This is the Core 1000. This is the one that I had. Honestly, for our performance needs, having one case fan in the front around here, there will be a side panel case here, bringing your power supply up here and then having it shoot out hot air, and then there is a base fan back here, boom, pushing out hot air. This is not a terrible case. Like I said, when I had in the last video, when I had a 580 in my case, it wasn't that bad of overheating issues. I didn't really ever run into overheating issues, to be completely honest with you, so I think you would be fine there. That being said, I think that's the case we're going to go with. Just to give you kind of a baseline. Oh, what is it going for MSRP? Let's see what this goes for MSRP, because this shouldn't be scalped at all. They were paying $40 for this case. Okay, so we will go ahead and go back and then add $40 because we are honest people and we knew that we were going to go over. Not $403. We're not insane. Okay, so I've made an executive decision. I think we're going to have to go cheaper memory, and I think we're going to have to go 2666, and I don't inherently feel bad about that because we go 2666 and then we go 2 sticks of 8 gig, and we can probably get it cheaper. No, we can't. Okay, so we're gonna have to go 8 gigs. 8 gigs of RAM, running them in dual channel, and I don't feel too bad about that. You save a bunch of money. The Aegis 8 gig, a lot of positive reviews, just like the same Ripjaw series that we had here. They're honestly, I don't understand. Is this CL16 versus non-CL16? What's the difference here? So it looks like we're going to go the 3898 here, and we're going to go 50112, which I don't feel bad about at all. So we are going to go 8 gigs of RAM, and we are giving you a hard drive, which by today's standards is a little bit pushing it, but also it's your first build. It doesn't have an upgradability path, and it's just to get you started playing some pretty decent games and some pretty decent FPSs. With spending a lot of money on the graphics card and spending a good amount of money on the Ryzen 3 3300X, I think there are a lot of games that you can play very well with minimal performance drop and best price to performance in this price range. So again, recap: Ryzen 3 3300X, quad-core CPU, 8 threads, perfect for this price range. $120 MSRP versus the i3 I think is just that 1% increase for $10 more just doesn't make any sense. So going Ryzen here made a little bit more sense. The motherboard was a steal. Getting Wi-Fi as well as a pretty decent micro ATX motherboard that has M.2 slots and expandability is pretty good. It does only have 2 DIMM slots, but running dual channel memory is going to be crucial there. So having the G.Skill Ripjaws V-Series 8GB kit, 2 4GB sticks will get you off the ground. Obviously, you have an upgrade path in the future to upgrade that RAM if you'd like. Completely replace those sticks with 2, especially with the motherboard supporting all of these different memory speeds. Being able to get any of those out of there, super huge. Seagate 1 terabyte drive. Again, you have that M.2 slot for upgradability in the future to hopefully boot off an SSD later. So the terabyte drive will get you all your games and will get you to a decent pace with the 7200 RPM. Pretty decent. 8GB graphics card is typically unheard of. We did kind of pull a little jinxy here, but that is because scalpers are destroying us. A year ago, I got an RX 580 for $150. So I'm very sure that you can get an RX 580 for $150 after scalpers take their reign down a notch and position themselves better. And then you've got the Fractal Design Core 1000. You can get at least 3 fans in that case to help the cooling situation, and that'll help you in the end run there. And then the EVGA BR 450 watt 80 plus power supply gives you a little bit of an efficiency rating, gives you about 100 watts of overhead to not damage any of these parts you just spent what is your small budget on, and keep you in the race for $501.12. And I don't feel bad going over that $1. You're going to go over money and taxes anyway. Again, like I said, we're dealing with just MSRPs. We're not talking about taxes. This is the best possible scenario for you. And even if you look at the base total, like the shipping is the 99 cents cost. Like if you can find free shipping on what didn't have free shipping, the G.Skill memory. Like if you can find free shipping on the G.Skill memory, you got exactly $500. So I think we did pretty good for this build. I think we did cut a couple corners, but the $750 build that we're $750 build that we're going to do next time should fix a lot of the problems that we're seeing here. Just for future reference, we did end up going with this G.Skill Aegis 8GB kit just because I realized at the end of the video that we went DDR4 2100 or 2133 instead of 2666 like I thought we were going. So we do have DDR4 2400 memory in the system, which for a 4GB or a 4-core CPU is not going to be terrible. Ryzen does prefer higher speeds, but that's the best performance you're going to be able to get out of this kit. So that is what I would recommend instead of what we picked earlier. And look at that, it gets you exactly $500 even with the shipping. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it gave you enough information to potentially get your build started and create the building blocks for what is PC Master Race and anything that you want to do with PCs in the future. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Like if you like the video, subscribe if you want to see the next PC breakdowns on different price budgets like $750, $1,000, and $1,500, and any other videos that I put up on the channel. If you want to see this specific part list or any part lists that any of the Discord creators have put in our community, go check the link out down below and join our fantastic community. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.